What's going on YouTube? It's Chris, and today I'm going to be talking about Boruto. So if you're not familiar with Boruto, Boruto is the sequel series to everyone's favorite ninja anime manga franchise, Naruto. Boruto stars Naruto's son. In this series, Naruto's grown up. He is the Hokage. He is the leader of like his village, his sort of like country. And this series follows his son as a young ninja academy student and the adventures that him and his friends have. So today I want to give my thoughts on, do I think Boruto will be any good? I'm going to give my thoughts on what I think are the pros and cons of Boruto so far and what I think Boruto needs to succeed. My short answer is Boruto may be interesting, but I doubt it'll hold a candle to the original, and here's why. So first I'm going to give my thoughts on the pros of the idea of Boruto in general. I saw any of the manga, the movie that came out a little over a year ago, as well as the first 2 episodes of the new anime. Some of the pros I like about Boruto. I like that the new characters are kids of characters that we know. It's corny and goofy, yes, but a lot of the new kids, the new ninja, have powers that are kind of a combination of both of their parents. One of the things that really, I think, drew a lot of people to Naruto is that Naruto had so many different ninjas with so many different powers and whatnot, and it's interesting to see that, okay, the kids aren't necessarily just carbon copies of their parents, that they're a bit of a combination of different aspects, and there are some new abilities that they have. One of my favorite new characters is Sarada. She is the daughter of Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Uchiha from the original show, and it's nice because we haven't really seen like a female Uchiha, and Naruto's had his issues with female characters in general, but we definitely haven't had like a female Uchiha who had powers and was relevant. And from the looks of it, Sarada, she has a Sharingan like her dad. If you played the Naruto video game, she has both fire and thunder abilities. So I'm interested to see what they'll do with her in the show, if she'll get into good fights. What I really hope for Sarada's character is that she gets some good fights and she has some good like plot relevant moments. Hopefully she can redeem everybody's most hated character, Sakura Uchiha, but that remains to be seen. Another pro that I hope sticks out in the series is the Boruto-Sasuke dynamic. So for those of you who don't know, Sasuke was Naruto's arch rival in the original series, and in the Boruto movie, Boruto actually decides to go train under Sasuke. So Boruto is training not with his dad, but with one of his dad's former most like hated rivals, and I think that's a really interesting dynamic. It kind of reminds me of when Gohan had to train with Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z, and I really think it's interesting to pretty much go train with your dad's like sworn enemy. I think that can lead to some interesting character interactions. Hopefully that can lead to Boruto having some different powers and abilities from his father, because I'm hoping this dynamic can help avoid one of the cons that I'm going to mention later in this video. The last thing that I hope that comes out of Boruto is a chance for a better underdog story. So for those of you who don't know, Naruto started off as an underdog story. Naruto was this loser, he was this weak ninja that no one cared about, and as the series went on, you know, for its, you know, whatever, like, I don't know, 14 years or so, Naruto went from being a story about an underdog to being kind of the chosen one, because later in the show we learned that Naruto was like, he was the reincarnation of pretty much like God's like child, and he was born and destined to have all these abilities, and I felt like Naruto kind of lost that underdog element a lot later in the series. So I hope with Boruto, I hope that they make Boruto much more of an underdog character. I hope Boruto ends up having to fight people that should be out of his league, and through guts and training and hard work and, you know, intelligence and whatnot, he's able to overcome those challenges. I don't want Boruto to just gain abilities because it's his destiny or his dad left him something or something like that. I want Boruto to have to work and train, because I think that'll be a more impactful story on its readers. Hey, this is a guy who, yeah, he may be the Hokage's son, but he had all the odds stacked against him and he still persevered. I think that's a better story. So initially, he kind of seemed like a Naruto clone. Now in the movie, they changed that a little bit by still showing that, you know, Boruto has a family unlike Naruto did, but he still has a lot of Naruto's like bratty tendencies. I hope as the show goes on, Boruto becomes distinctly different from Naruto. You know, I like Boruto to be a little darker, a little more emo. You know, Naruto was happy-go-lucky, giving friendship speeches and whatnot. And, you know, I'd like to see Boruto go in a different direction. I don't want him to be a villain or anything like that, but I definitely don't want him to be a clone of his dad. And as of right now, he seems very similar to his dad, so that's one of my cons for Boruto going forward. Another con is that the Boruto movie had tons of action, but the first 2 episodes of the Boruto anime, there's been distinctly less fighting. Like, there's been some jutsu and hand-to-hand combat stuff, but nothing too crazy. So I do hope that Boruto steps up the action, you know, a reasonable amount at some point. I definitely don't want it to go Super Dragon Ball Z like it did in Shippuden with people summoning giant demons to fight and stuff, but I would like to see more hand-to-hand combat, more characters using their signature jutsu, you know, more characters, you know, punching each other and kicking and all that kind of stuff that people really enjoyed about the original show. If you want an example of a good, like, fight early on in Naruto that I think Boruto should kind of get, like, a feel for, remember the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight way back in the beginning of Naruto? You know, when I first saw that fight when I was younger, I was, like, amazed, and I was like, what is this show? I have to watch it. Oh, that looks so cool. So hopefully Boruto can have some stuff like that, and I think that'll generate some positive, like, buzz and attention for it. My last con about Boruto is that, you know, Naruto ended, the manga ended in like 2014, and we've had movies and, you know, the anime and stuff, but Boruto is starting pretty much right after Naruto ending, and a lot of people who are reading Naruto, you know, we've been reading it for so long, you know, we started to get a little bored with it. I don't know if Boruto will be able to hold the interest of really old fans who've been watching Naruto. You know, as of right now, some people are watching Boruto, but I feel like a lot of people who used to watch a lot of Naruto have just kind of moved on, and I don't know if Boruto is going to be able to get a lot of those old fans back. I also don't know if Boruto will be able to bring in new fans like young kids right now. The thing about Naruto is that Naruto blew up in America, you know, everybody's seen the memes of the kids running with their arms behind their backs. It's not that Naruto was the best show ever, but Naruto was very good at world building. Naruto gave us a world with all the different characters and all these different abilities, and since that world exists, you know, Boruto can't do that. Boruto, like, the series is literally riding on the coattails of Naruto, and I don't know if it'll ever be as big of a hit as the original show, even for younger viewers. This is a little bit different than like a Dragon Ball Super situation where Dragon Ball GT, I believe, ended in the 90s, at least in Japan, and then for a long time we didn't get anything new like Dragon Ball. I mean, we got a couple specials and the Dragon Ball Z video games and whatnot. By the time Dragon Ball Super came out in Japan a couple years ago, there hadn't been a lot of new Dragon Ball stuff in a really long time, so it felt refreshing, you know. I feel nostalgic watching Dragon Ball Super because I remember watching Dragon Ball Z as a young kid, and I feel like there's been enough time for it to pass for me to actually miss the show and me want to get back into it. Naruto ended, we went straight into Boruto, so Boruto won't have the nostalgia element as much because we haven't really had time to like forget Naruto and miss Naruto. You know, with Dragon Ball Super, we had a long time to reflect on the Dragon Ball franchise, but with Boruto, we're kind of just thrown right back in. That's my ultimate fear of Boruto, is that since the nostalgia won't hit as hard, a lot of people who are tired of the Naruto franchise may lose interest and it won't be as successful. So in my opinion, you know, will Boruto succeed? In order for Boruto to succeed, Boruto needs to have different situations, different character dynamics. It needs to be fun, it needs to be just generally enjoyable. And lastly, I think Boruto needs to focus a little less on the flashy jutsu and the super broken ultimate techniques that we saw in Shippuden, and much more on characters and character developments and characters using their brain to outsmart their enemies and do different stuff. Because Naruto did get very Dragon Ball Z at the end, you know, with people summoning, you know, giant spirit demons to fight and all that kind of stuff. You know, I really want Boruto to be more grounded. You know, I want to see people punch each other in the face. Naruto is just this crazy phenomenon, and lightning doesn't strike twice. I don't think Boruto is ever going to be as popular as Naruto was, but there is a chance that we can get a fun, decent show out of it, so I do hope it is successful. So yeah, that's my thought on Boruto. If you like this video, hit the like button and leave a comment down below. What you think about Boruto? Do you think it'll be successful? Have you been enjoying it so far? Let me know what you think. And until next time, I will see you all later. Peace.